YouTube channel near you.
Well, hello there, Lorna. Prospecting USA, hunting Americans' treasures. From coast to coast, prospecting. What's going on, Val? Moon at noon. Kathy A. Tammy Johnson, keep your hands on the wheel. Make sure you wear your seatbelt and drive with safety. Hello there, Gary Spikes. Nice to see you there. So, everybody's starting to tune in. Gene Hudson, how you doing there? Welcome, everybody. And don't forget, this edition is brought to you by, yes, it's the Texas Beer Company. It's in stock. Make sure and buy it for your smelly husband or significant other. I wear it every day. We love you, Texas Beer Company. Thank you. Now shipping. I'll send a link in our comments there. So what's going on, Jennifer?
Oh, not much. How are you?
Yeah, so I'm hoping you get feeling better soon.
Thank you. Me too.
Yeah, that's awful. So, yeah, but round of applause for everybody here. Welcome everybody to the show here. But I'll drop the link. And so you got a, what'd you call it? A bacterial fungi, what do you call it?
Pneumonia.
Welcome, Cynthia. Yeah. So she comes back from Mexico, or where'd you go?
I went to Mexico.
Yeah, everybody's going to Mexico but me. You know, I can't even leave the studio half the time. So, yeah. So, beautiful pictures. Seem like y'all had a real good time, but I do miss you. And now she comes home sick. That's terrible, right? So, yeah. So, this is
the things I do to get out of going to work.
Right. So, this is part 2 of Jason, Lewis's last name, Lierl? Lierl, yeah. So very interesting. So don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, this is for entertainment purposes only. All parties are innocent till proven guilty in a court of law. We have to state that before each episode because we do not know the outcome or in specifics of the case. So what do you think about this case thus far, Jennifer?
A lot of eyebrows raising. I don't want to give away too much before our people come on, but not much of my opinions changed since last week.
Yeah, very interesting. I can say that much.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I guess we go ahead and bring on somebody. Let's see here. And first up on the board, why not, Angela? You're smiling. Angela, welcome.
Thank you.
You smiled, and so I'll bring you on first. So how are you doing?
All right. I'm doing good. I'm doing quite good, actually.
Angela, weren't you the one with no voice last time?
Yes. Because of where I work, we have a high call volume, and we literally had so many calls coming in that 5 of us lost our voice.
Oh my gosh.
So it's
Well,
comes and goes.
I guess I better change my voice too to fit in. Or,
Anyways,
So I
but
just,
yeah,
after work, I make sure not to talk until I absolutely have to.
Yeah.
that's terrible. Everybody's, somebody else was losing their voice yesterday. I was talking to. I can't remember who that was. So so hopefully y'all get over it. It's awful.
Yeah, no, Rebecca, I knew better than to even brush my teeth with that water. Said I drank the water. I'm like, that I did not do.
Yeah, that's terrible. That's terrible. Hmm. So how'd you do on this case, Angela?
Well, the very first thing I made the connection was pain right here in this area of my head, very bad pain, like it was hit or struck. It was terrible, it was, awful pain. And the other impression, the very first thing I got was big water, big water. And then I got the impression, because I did use runes, I was again told big water, large body of water that, and he was hidden there on purpose. So he's under the water on purpose. Somebody put him there. That there was a man that was responsible for his death. It had to do was that he was in a situation where if he were to talk about it, he was in trouble. If he didn't talk about it, it was in trouble. And I got from the runes that I got Ansus, which means talking or speaking, as the motive. Like he knew, and it means wisdom. So he knew something that this man did not want him to reveal. And I got that the man was the victim. I was waiting for an opportune time to talk about this. He was keeping it under wraps, and he was waiting for a time when he thought it might be safe to talk about what he knew. I got the impression that whatever business he was in or whatever job he was in, that some bad people came in and was using it as like a cover to ship some sort of merchandise through that's contraband, and was kind of using it for that. And he found out about it, and they wanted to silence him.
Are you talking about like DOC?
Like DOC could be the certain things that are not that some states strongly regulate, and not necessarily could be DOC, but it could also be the G word. What'd you say?
The hell, the G word? We're all talking in code here. I don't know what the hell. You know what the hell a G word is, Jennifer?
The weapons. Let's say weapons.
Oh, okay. Duh. I was slow on that one, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I mean, you could have went poo poo or pee pee or something. I got you now. Yeah.
Poo.
Yeah. I didn't mean. I meant to say pee. Yeah, what the hell with
okay.
Anyway. Yes.
I got it. They were interfering with this business. They were running this through. They were using a legitimate business and using his legitimate business to run this through. Like it was either something at work or a business that he was involved in. And I just got an impression of a car going into the water, possibly, and that he was sunken. So it was deliberately sunken and hidden, and like it was where either his body was weighted or it was with weight. They could have put him in a car and dumped the vehicle in the big water, or they could have just taken his body and put weights attached and sunk it in the water. Either way, he's in the water on purpose, and he's been put there on purpose and put there in big water, very deep water. I kept seeing a rocky bottom for this water, so a very large lake with very large rocks at very deep depths, and it was sunken at these deep depths in the crevices of this rock. And I got an impression that it's marked some way, like they know the location, like whoever did this has the GPS coordinates, so it's been flagged, it's been marked. And that's mainly the impressions I got. Also, extremely kind individual the victim was, and it's a horrible thing that happened to him. I really feel sorry for the family, because I could really feel that. I feel like he has crossed over successfully into heaven, and he's not stuck here. He's not stuck, and that's That's very good. That's very good news. I feel like he regularly visits his family in spirit. And
Okay.
where did
I don't
Grizzly
know.
go?
I don't know. Did you get a sense of like part of the country he might be in? States, area, anything like that?
I don't have a sense of a country. It feels like towards middle, but wherever it is, there's a huge body of water. So the
Okay.
largest bodies of water that I know in the country were more like, there's the Great Lakes. There's I know
Right.
Wisconsin has a lot of lakes, but
Yeah.
this is a tremendous body of water. It's huge.
Okay. All right.
Interesting. No, I'm working on my other brand new computer. It's like update, restart. I'm like, no, I hit not now, and it's like too late. So sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, interesting. So I was like, man, if it takes 20 minutes to read. Anyways, I'm back. So thank you,
I'm
Angela.
getting that
Stand
thing
by.
again right now.
Yeah, I was getting a pain too for a second. Stand by. All right, Chris, give me thumbs up if you're ready. All right, he waves. That's good enough. All right, welcome, Chris. All right, so what did you get?
How you doing?
Doing good.
All right, glad to hear it.
Yeah, so what did you come up with, kind sir?
Well, of course, I did some remote viewing that I can normally do, and I got quite a bit of information. I found out during my session that he was a very kind individual, and something about he loved animals, and he loved like hot rod vehicles. And one of the things he was kind of had a passion for was like Harley Davidsons or Hondas motorcycles. Um, I got the feeling like he also had a private life, like maybe a drug habit, but I don't want to use necessarily put that per se as guaranteed, but it could have been prescription pills. I understand. I felt like he was worried a lot. I felt worried, like maybe I was picking up on his worriedness, and I felt like he had a friends, but some of these friends that he hung out with were not exactly true friends. I think he made new friends. I don't know if it was at a job, but these friends turned out not to be as friendly as what he thought they were. Um, Something about his vehicle wound up missing, and maybe some of the belongings were scattered. I keep seeing like a like not an ocean, but more like a maybe a pond or a river nearby, and I felt like some of the stuff reading my remote viewing here that some of the stuff that he went through in life was not good. Like he would hide emotions from people, and I also felt like maybe he thought these friends were going to like some kind of a deal that he had done or gotten from them. I don't know if it was a drug deal or some kind of a deal, but I felt like maybe the deal went wrong, or he didn't, or somebody didn't live up to their end of the deal, and things went bad. And so I felt like like maybe he was not so much kidnapped, maybe like taken, and then they went from there with his body. And I feel like perhaps the vehicle is not in the water. I don't think the vehicle is in the water. I think they maybe done something with his body, perhaps near or in a lake or river. And that is my sessions. Oh, I also got that he had a friend that he was real close with, a female. I don't know if it was. I don't think it was a wife, but it was like might have been a sister or a cousin. But he was real close to a female, and that's what I got.
All right, thank you, sir. Stand by. So, was there water nearby where they found his personal belongings? I don't remember.
So I know the area. So one of the 4 locations, yes. 2 of the 4 locations, pretty darn close.
Okay. Now, wasn't there a woman involved that they got interviewed, or is that another case?
No, that's her.
It was her, wasn't it?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Interesting.
Do we have anyone else before I say any more?
Envo was supposed to show up, but go ahead. No, go ahead. Yeah, Cynthia, the FBI does have a reward for $30,000. So what's very interesting, and we can go ahead and speak freely because I don't think everybody else is working or anything like that. What's interesting about the FBI reward, it says to validate that the person, what was the actual verb? Let me pull up the FBI because the verbiage is what threw me off. FBI poster for Jason.
Oh, yeah.
Because the verbiage is what threw me off. Hold on, somebody just came through. I just heard the doorbell ring.
Oh,
Let's see who it is. It's the famous person from overseas. What did I tell you? Stand by. All right, next up, Inbal. There she is.
Hi.
Welcome. Hello. How are you?
hello.
Welcome.
Hi, guys. Are you back from your adventures, Grizz?
Yes. I barely made it alive. I can tell you that much. So, yes. How are you been?
But
I see
you know
you've been
what?
busy.
With the company that you keep, even if you didn't make it back alive, at least you'd have some good company that can talk to you from the other side.
There you go. I would come back and I would haunt people. I would. I would have fun. So, yes.
I would expect nothing less.
Absolutely.
So, as you know, I don't look at the picture that you send
Right.
until just when we start. So I'm opening my file just now and looking at our person. Let's see what I can pick up. I work primarily with the tarot,
Yes, ma'am.
and I like to just sort of see what would come up. So, should I just get started?
Yeah, after you, man.
Thank you. So, sorry, little unexpectedly, they escaped. Let me catch them. Got them back. So I start with a few general cards just to see what we've got around that person. And I would say that the circumstances of his disappearance, or the circumstances around the situation that he found himself, were familiar to him. I feel like he was surrounded by people that he knew, and more than knew, it's people that he initially trusted. I can sense a lot of fear because it looks like it's a situation that in his mind was going to play out just fine. And then it took a darker turn. And what it shows me is that there was somebody, I'm seeing three people around him, somebody in the company who he had a strong bond of trust with, somebody different who he knew vaguely, maybe like a friend of a friend, cousin of a friend, that kind of thing, and somebody who had come back, somebody who he used to know long before and was surprised to see around. So it looks like feelings of enthusiastic surprise turned into feelings of shocked surprise. So let me see what the intent was. This is really odd because it looks like the intent was for him to be brought into the fold. There is a bit of a cultish feel around this situation, and he was supposed to agree to go along with something, but he did not. And so there was no other choice under the kind of rules or understanding of that situation. There was no other choice but to silence him. Let me see if I've got things around a method, because I will say that I've got something that looks like multiple holes. So it could be multiple stab wounds, could be, it's just showing multiple shots. But I actually see him as not the only victim there. So what I'm picking up could be another person in the same spree. But let me see about himself. Right, so I definitely see knives, but I also see a poisonous environment. So it's possible that evidence was being hidden or circumstances were being altered using some kind of a like a caustic material, like an acid, some kind of a chemical reaction to make things invisible, to make things impossible. Literally, what it says to me here is that there were creative ideas around the crime, the potential crime around him, and the word creative might be, you know, a little too fun for the situation. But I'm sure when I learn the details of the case, then maybe the word creative is not going to be that far fetched. Now, I like to see whether it is possible, realistically possible, for this story to be solved, or is it completely impossible? And what I'm seeing is that there are some pieces of evidence in writing. There are bits that form like a paper trail that can give strong circumstantial ideas around. I don't see anyone confessing. I don't see eyewitnesses coming forward, unfortunately. But I feel like there are text messages or notes written which can place suspicious people in locations that could potentially incriminate them. And let me just have a little look at an environment to see if there's any kind of physical or geographic environmental ideas that can help place it. So, first of all, it's saying that this is in the dark, and then it's showing me fire in the dark, but it also shows a wooded area. So it could be a clearing in a wood, it could be that he can be discovered or has been discovered in a wood, but the fire and also seeing before like a caustic, like an acid reaction, could have been ways to hide the trail, and different methods to suppress any kind of evidence, any kind of discovery. So that's what I've got from this situation. What an interesting story.
Thank you. All right, stand by. Thank you, Inval. All right, now let's see here. And action. I love I can play videos now.
Yay.
I know, right?
Sweet, Sarah. It's your brother Jason.
It was Jason and I that grew up together.
I heard you were turning 14 today. Congratulations. I love you.
Sarah Wood and her brother Lierl haven't spoken to each other since late January.
The last text messages that I received from him, I almost wondered if they even really came from Jason.
Jason hasn't been seen or heard from since.
There are so many people who have given up that hope.
But you certainly have not.
No, because I don't know what my life's going to look like without Jason.
Madison County Sheriff's Deputy Stephen Brown is tasked with retracing Jason's last steps. He says Jason's belongings have been found all over NWA, including keys, a car, and a motorcycle.
We had to go back and kind of figure out who he knew and who knew him and go from there and see what they know.
The car found a park outside of the Northwest Arkansas Mall in Fayetteville. Police searched it in early February.
There were things of evidentiary, interest that were found. Some of those things were sent to the Arkansas State Crime Lab, and we're kind of waiting results on some of those things.
Sarah and her family stood just feet away, watching the search unfold, holding their breath.
What if our brother is in the trunk of this car?
But no Jason. His motorcycle parked outside of an acquaintance's house near Clifty in Madison County.
My brother would say that they were friends. How good of friends? I don't know that that's really easy to determine.
Jason's acquaintances that he was last believed to be with, it's a tight circle of people, but they have a wide footprint.
Sarah says Jason battled drug addiction. She and her son, Brendan, Jason's nephew, fear he relapsed around the time he disappeared.
Throughout the month of January, he came upon some very dark times, and unfortunately, I think he turned back to some things that, were in Madison County, to some people that perhaps shouldn't have been around.
Sarah turned to social media for help. A page made to spread awareness about her brother's disappearance quickly attracted thousands of followers and several theories about what may have happened.
The stories that I've heard from so many different people about my brother's disappearance have been so off the wall that, they're just crazy. They do not make any sense.
We have a lot of information to go through.
The sheriff's office says one of Jason's friends reported he was last seen walking down a road in the Shauna's Corner area. Brown says their focus is on rural northwestern Madison County. The most recent search just a few weeks ago.
A big city, you have a lot of people, typically. A lot of people, there's a lot of eyes. A lot of eyes, you get more information. Out here in the county, it's not like that.
As the investigation continues, Sarah and her family are once again left holding their breath.
We don't know whether it's time to mourn or if it's, or if we should have hope that he's going to come back.
Every day, waiting by the phone.
He's a great brother. He's a great father. And he deserves to be found.
I don't know if you can hear me, but I have an update.
I can hear you now. I lost the last part of it myself.
Yeah, just give me 1 second because it's knocking me out. I apologize.
Yeah.
It won't let me out, so hold on.
Well, hopefully he'll be back soon. Can anyone else hear me? Been 2 years. They have a lot of stuff. Yes, Gene, it's been 2 years. I don't know. I'm going to show as soon as Grizz gets back. I actually have some terrain maps of a couple of places where they think he might have been last seen, including that Clifty area. So you all can see kind of how remote this is. So I know one of the mediums, good, I'm glad, thank you. One of the mediums talked about the deep lake. I can tell you in this area, there's a lake called, is this Bull Shoals? Beaver Lake. If anyone wants to look it up on their own, it spans Madison and Benton County in Arkansas. So, and it's near that Clifty area where he was last seen. Hopefully we get Grizz back because I don't know how long my voice is going to hang on. And so that's definitely one. And then I think last week we talked about another area in Missouri. For those of you who are fans of Ozark, its chain of lakes is there as well. I will say not quite as deep as Beaver Lake for sure, but all Ozark Mountain lakes, so might explain some of the rock and things like that that one of our mediums has talked about as well. And it is clear water. It's fairly clear water. There's a lot of fishing and boating, but it would certainly, knowing both areas, be fairly easy to drive a if what what they're saying is true with the vehicle in the water, I mean, it could happen, for sure. Hopefully Grizz comes back soon. So the girl that I think one of them talked about that was closely covered last week was his sister that was in that video. So we know that he was married at the time of his disappearance, but living with the sister. And then the nephew talked about dark times. So, I mean, I'm not sure what we can infer with that. Is he separated from the wife and kids, or lose a job? Both. I don't know. I don't recall us seeing where he might have worked at all. So that's kind of interesting. We did talk about the DOC in that area. We called it shake and bake. So I'll let you guys kind of think about that with some of the stuff that's been said and the chemical reactions used during that process, which might have explained a few other things as well. And then that sheriff, I mean, what did he say? A close circle of friends with a wide reach. So that, that kind of might have explained the friends he was, or the people he was hanging out with. It seems like he had kind of lost touch with them, at one point, but then went back to this dark place and then goes right back to this close circle of friends, as they call her, acquaintances. So, that might be a lead as well. I'm hoping some of the people familiar with this case or in that area are listening and watching. Maybe this is going to help at all, help something at least, for sure. I know we looked at a few Facebook pages after the case to kind of watch with people discussing on this. I went down after last week's show with a fever today. This is the first day I've been up, so I didn't have an opportunity to really peruse those Facebook pages at all, those groups. When you live life with those friends and you can't get, yeah, I mean, Gene, I get it for sure. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. Sometimes, people get out of prison or jail and they go right back into the life that they were put in jail for. So yeah, I mean, it's an old habit that was easy, quick. So maybe that's what he just reverted back to. You don't know. Hi, you.
Hello. Let me click a couple of buttons so I can hear you. Now I can hear. So, all right. Sorry about that. It was like doing all the major updates when I thought I already did. So the FBI, did you cover the FBI poster?
No, I did not yet. We were just kind of talking because I didn't know when you'd come back. So
yeah, I didn't think I was coming back. So the FBI poster, it says, and let me show you what it says on here. It says here, in this, it's not the same. Oh, I forgot I got a touch screen now. It says right here, location and recovery of Jason. And remember that puzzled me. It puzzled me, that verbiage.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. So, yes.
So I could kind of show
30,000.
you all some of the terrain in the area he was last at.
Yeah, that'd be great.
You really don't need entire screen. We don't need audio, but we'll do it anyway out of habit. So here, I'm going to zoom out a little. This is kind of the area they were talking about. So this square here is Madison County. This right here is Benton County.
Oh, water.
Hobbs State Park Conservative area. And this lake here is called Beaver Lake. It is a mountain lake in the Ozarks.
Ooh.
I've fished it, I've swam it, I've tubed it, I've done all of it. It is deep enough to hide things in.
Aha. Did you talk about DOC in that area too?
A little, yeah, a little. And then
Good.
here, right here, Clifty, right here, that's the area that he was last seen at a friend's house, and look how close.
Yeah, that's really not that far away, is it?
Yep, Hogscald Hollow Cabin. That's actually a resort you can go stay at. Big War Eagle Cavern, where you can go look at. So this is all, look at this. Beaver Lake, look at this.
So basically what you're telling me by looking at that, he can be anywhere.
Oh gosh, yeah. Now I will say this, if someone would follow or it turn out that a vehicle was used to hide him, I will tell you that there are a lot of places you could drive a vehicle into, but there are just as many you can't, because this it's a mountain lake. You know, there's only so many points you can access by vehicle. You can see this little road here, you know, roads up here, and just north of here. Oops, let me zoom out again.
Yeah, so DOC, ladies and gentlemen, is what's on the screen. That's what DLC stands for, is what's on the screen right now. You're welcome, Susan.
So if you look at Beaver Lake here, Eagle Rock right here, that's another location in Missouri that he was found near. And what's right there? Chain of lakes. Look at this lake.
Uh-huh.
Not quite as deep as Beaver Lake, but look at how close in proximity the two are. Beaver Lake, chain of lakes.
That's very interesting.
I mean, they're on knowing the area for sure.
Interesting. Well, if somebody else works on the case before we wrap it up, we'll submit it. But other than that, thank you all for tuning in. Greatly appreciate your all's time. And ladies and gentlemen, if you got a case you want us to look at, send it to us. We'll put it on the books and review it, and we'll go from there.
And we did get a submission after last week.
Yes, and hopefully we're going to reach out to the individual that is running that Facebook group. I don't know her relationship, and if she wants, because she said and indicated she wanted to be a part of the showing and airing of the case. So, but we'll see. So, y'all have any questions before we wrap up, ladies and gentlemen? Angela, Enval, Christopher?
Yeah.
Great news.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, from coast to coast or around the world, don't forget we got a show tonight at 9 o'clock. So tune in for that, ladies and gentlemen. Until then, Godspeed. We'll see you. Bye-bye.
Okay.
channel near you.